we're going to talk about brushes. Choosing brushes can be overwhelming because they come in so many different shapes and sizes, and when you're just starting out, you don't know what different brushes do. When I started off painting, I had this exact brush was my only brush, just this round one, and then I went up from here to, as you can see, I have a little bit of an addiction buying paintbrushes. So since it's so overwhelming, I'm going to show you the basics of a few brushes that you need to start out with. The first brush I would buy would be a flat brush like this. This one's an inch. They come in all different sizes. You can get ones that are little baby ones, really tiny like that, all the way up to even bigger than this one. These are good for laying in large amounts of color. If you're doing your sky, put in the big area, anything that you're adding a lot of color with. Another good one to buy is a fan brush. This is more of a specialty. I use them a lot for painting grasses or foliage. They're good to have, but I don't really use mine that often, but it's a nice one to have. One I do use a lot is called a filbert brush. This is probably the favorite brush of mine. I paint a lot of my foliage with this. It's good for painting water because it puts that little oval shape to it on there. And once again, those come in all different sizes. A 1 inch is handy, a 1/2 inch is handy to have. I have big ones. I mean, it depends on the size canvas you're using. If you're going to start doing full-scale large canvases, then you can upgrade to these bigger brushes. But I'd say stick to a 1/2 inch or 1 inch. Even a 1/4 inch is good to have. Another one, this is a real good one to have, is called an angled shader. It's kind of like the flat brush, but it has, as you can see, an angle. That's what gives it its name. These are great to have because they're great for shading, as the name suggests, and painting straight lines. They're really good for that too, putting a nice edge on something. So these are my favorites. And with those, this is a 1/8 inch. That's a good size to have, so you can really do some detail with that. And a 1/4 inch is also a good size. They have those, once again, in all the different sizes. Other good ones that you might want to get, just to round out what we have, are called spotters or liners. Spotters are usually this, but a little shorter. And they're good for detail work, painting straight lines, thin things, little details. So they're good to have. You can get real tiny ones, like this one, or all the way up. With brands, I'm not too picky with brands. I just pick the ones that I like when I see them at the store. You'll see shapes you like. And as you paint more, you'll know exactly what you like in a brush, and you'll start gravitating towards those. And then you'll also fall for gimmick brushes. Like I bought this one, I still haven't used it yet. See how long the bristles are, but maybe one day I'll use it. I don't know. But there's all kinds of different, there's specialty brushes. You can get fan brushes with these little notches cut in, and all kinds of different things. As you go along, you'll see what you like and what you need. One thing to discuss is brush care, because if your brushes aren't in good shape, your painting isn't going to turn out the best. So one thing I like to use is called this Masters brush cleaner. It's just a big cake soap, and once you paint, you rub your brush back and forth in here, rinse it out, and then you rub your brush again in there once it's clean, and that shapes, then you can rub it and shape the bristles. So that keeps your brushes from getting all frizzed up, so that you can keep them in good shape. Another one of my things that I always make sure you do with your brushes is when you're painting, always keep them in water. After they have paint on them, put them in your cup of water. Don't leave them with dried paint on them. That's just not good for the bristles. And you don't want to get the paint all up in the metal part. That will keep your brushes lasting a long time. If you don't happen to have this cleaner, you can also just use dish soap. Just make sure you keep your brushes clean. Get that paint out of there after you're done painting.